is for Davao City, 105.9 Mix FM. It's 8 past 8. Beautiful Wednesday morning. Even more glorious that we get to have this chance to have a little tiny chat with a man playing the lead character of the Phantom of the Opera. Jonathan Roxmouth. He plays Phantom. CCP Main Theater is where Phantom of the Opera is opening. Are you guys ready to say good morning, Phantom?
It's George Book, and he's playing the best mix on the planet.
We're going to stop.
Mix FM.
Thanks, Sonny. Do we hear Jonathan on air?
Hey, George, how are you?
Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
Very well, and yourself?
Great, I'm good. Thanks very much. It's so nice that you woke up early today just to talk to us and tell us about Phantom of the Opera. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Phantom of the Opera is now the longest-running musical on Broadway and in London, and it's been around now for about 25, 26 years. And everybody always asks, why has it been around for so long? And I think it's very simply put, it's just a damn good musical. It's got everything you could possibly want. It's this unashamedly grand, big spectacle of a musical that tells a very, very relevant story. It's all about love, and it's told with the most beautiful score. Andrew Lloyd Webber's greatest score that he's written.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody knows that music. And I think once you put the music in context, in the design and the orchestrations and the direction of it, it just adds to the most amazing experience you can have in a theater.
Indeed, it's such an amazing production. And you guys have been here in the Philippines for since when?
Well, we've been here for about a month already.
Okay.
And we've got another month to go because we've just extended again until the 14th of October.
No, ain't that nice?
Wonderful.
Wonderful indeed. Now, Jonathan, we know that you're the Phantom, playing the lead character, but just briefly give us an idea of Phantom, your role.
Well, it's quite a complicated thing to summarize, because basically he's been disfigured since birth.
Oh, yeah.
And his mother shunned him and abandoned him, and he basically was part of a freak show until he was rescued by Madame Giry, and he was hidden in the opera house, the Paris Opera House, and he's been living underneath in the bowels of the theater for many, many years until he hears the voice of Christine. And he falls madly in love with her, becomes her singing teacher, and then into the mix comes Raoul, who's like this knight in shining Armani, and it becomes this...
Shining Armani, huh?
That's right. It becomes this beautiful, well, not beautiful, a very dangerous, tragic love triangle. And he is a genius, and he can only express himself through music, and I think that adds to the mystery of the man.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I'm sure you love playing that character.
Oh, it's the greatest role in musical theater for a male, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's a gift of a part.
Oh, my goodness, it sure is. Now, I'm sure before The Phantom, you did a lot of preparation. I understand you have been part of big other productions as well. How many years have you been doing theater?
I've been doing it for about 7 years so far.
Mm-hmm.
Still relatively new, but the preparation for Phantom was the biggest preparation I've ever had to do. Obviously you go and you read the book and you try to come up with your own interpretation of the character. And I also watched a few of the films that have been made about Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is that all the films, except the 2004 version, all had him disfigured later. He was burnt.
Oh.
And the major difference is somebody who is disfigured later on in life is completely different to someone who was born that way.
That is true.
So it was a very interesting thing to get into.
Wow. Now, how does it feel to be part of such a big production? This by far is the biggest production you've ever had.
To be part of Phantom is one thing, because it's this big super brand that everybody knows, and as soon as you hear those first chords, da 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 da, you get a tingle down your spine.
Oh, yeah.
But to be able to be part of the show and tour it to countries like Manila that haven't seen it before is even more exciting, because you take the show to somewhere like Hong Kong that has seen it, and they know what to expect.
That's correct.
Whereas here, I'll never forget, the first performance that we did, the chandelier falls at the end of Act 1, and people didn't see it coming. And there was this scream from the audience, and, then this big finish. And I just sort of stood, I'm at the top of the Pross Arch at that point, and I just watched the audience, and I thought, my goodness, to be able to take this and show it as a new product, 26 years later is such a privilege.
That's right. That's a grand chandelier, by the way.
Oh, it is.
One. So, what can me and a lot of Filipinos expect to see in this show?
It's so easy to say, oh, it's a spectacle, but people don't understand why it's a spectacle. The design of Phantom is a very, very grand design. It's, when you walk into the CCP and you see what they've done to build the show into the theater, it takes a breath away. The whole design and costumes, everything was designed by a lady called Maria Bjornsson, who's unfortunately not around anymore. But she was an old opera designer, which means it's grand, it's big, it's over the top, it's gold, it's brocades, it's all these fabrics. There's not one costume in Phantom, which, by the way, we have 750 costumes.
Wow!
So that just to give you an idea, there's also over 80 wigs that are on every night. And you've got a set that is so beautifully complemented by the costumes, because she designed the costumes to bring out the beauty of the set as well, and vice versa. So there's no costume that's just a jacket. It's a jacket with lace and brocade and trims, and then another layer over that.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal, let me tell you.
It really is grand. I heard that the touring production takes 27 articulated trucks to transfer the set between theaters.
Oh, it's about 40 containers.
40 containers? That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Big time. So, when will the show open to Filipino audiences, and, most importantly, where can we buy tickets?
The show's been running now already. We've already had our opening, and you can get your tickets at TicketWeb, which is, I think, 891-9999.
Okay.
And, or you can get them straight from the CCP box office, but I suggest you get onto TicketWeb immediately, because we've been selling ridiculous amounts of tickets so far.
That's the reason why it's extended.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, we run Tuesdays to Sundays, with matinees on Saturdays and Sundays.
All right, Jonathan, thanks very much. Now, I hope you don't mind us asking here, if it's okay, if you'd give in to a little request we have here, can you just sing a little bit of your part in Phantom of the Opera before we end the interview? Would that be okay?
I'll try.
Okay.
But I will say,
we're all ears.
We have an orchestra we have a fully Filipino orchestra as well.
Wow.
And it does sound much better when they're playing behind me, just so that you know.
Okay, then. All right.
It sort of goes, night time sharpens, heightens each sensation. That's all I can give you for now.
Wow. Okay. That has got to be the best invitation there is for people, in this part of the country. Thanks very much. Please, Jonathan Roxman, the Phantom of the Opera, please invite them once again to witness the well-loved musical, The Phantom of the Opera.
Well, everybody, my name is Jonathan Roxworth, and I play the Phantom in The Phantom of the Opera, as you've just heard. And I would like to personally invite you to come and experience the music of the night at the CCP Theatre on until the 14th of October. Tickets through TicketWeb. We'll see you at the theatre.
See you, Phantom. Thanks very much.
Thank you, George.
The world's greatest musical, The Phantom of the Opera, seen by over 130 million people worldwide, is now playing at the CCP Main Theatre for a final and strictly limited season. A magnificent spectacle and a great love story, brought to life in a stunning international production. Don't miss Andrew Lloyd Webber's masterpiece, The Phantom of the Opera. Book now, call Ticket World on 891-9999 or visit ticketworld.com.ph. Presented in Manila by Smart Infinity and Citibank in association with Philippine Airlines.